Hello, welcome back to the chaos that is Shiny and Books. I don't know if this is going to be the intro, but let's intro it. I should hopefully have a series of videos out. I'm on Struggle Street at the moment when I'm filming this. I have reached my Goodreads goal of 50 books, but I've only have 5 fiction books that were 5 stars. I have other books that were 5 stars, but they're all like non-fictional graphic novels, which I tend to give a 5-star more easily. So I'm on the hunt for some more 5-star books because it's not going good. I have some that were close to 5 stars, but there's only 5 that I have actually given 5 stars. So in this video, I think I'm going to be exploring cozy mysteries. Let's just see how this goes. So last year, my favorite book of the whole entire year was Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I always stumble on that title. I love that book, but I haven't read that many cozy mysteries. The year before, I had on my favorites list Finley Donovan's Killing It, which I don't know if that one is technically even a cozy mystery, but I haven't got that many others that I've actually tried. And since Vera Wong was my #1 favorite of the year, I'm going to see if I can find some cozy mysteries. So I'm going to start with the Goodreads page for Vera Wong, and I think if I go down, okay, readers also enjoyed. So obviously the Finley Donovan series is on here. How to Solve Your Own Murder. Okay, there's an option. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. I have heard about that. This is the sequel to The Maid, which I did enjoy. More Finley Donovan. Funny story. Okay. The Mostly True Story of Tanner and Louise. This one is shelved as fiction and mystery. 21-year-old Tanner Quimley needs a place to live, preferably one where she can continue sitting around in sweatpants and playing video games 19 hours a day. Since she has no credit or money to speak of, her options are limited, so when the opportunity to work as a living caregiver for an elderly woman falls into her lap, she takes it. I did like reading Vera Wong for the elderly woman as well. I did like that. One slip on the rug, that's all it took for Louise Wilt's daughter to demand that Louise have a full-time nanny living with her. Never mind that she can still walk fine, finish her daily crossword puzzle, and pour the 2 fingers of vodka she drinks every afternoon. Bottom line, Louise wants a caretaker even less than Tanner wants to be one. The two start off their living arrangement happily ignoring each other until Tanner starts to notice things, weird things, like why does Louise keep her garden shed locked up tighter than a prison? And why is the local news fixated on the suspect of one of the biggest jewelry heists in American history, who eerily looks like Louise? And why does Louise suddenly appear in her room with a packed bag at 1 a.m. insisting that they leave town immediately? Okay, well this sounds fun. Let's keep that as an option. All right, so I'm going to go to the cozy mystery tag on Goodreads and see if that has something else. Okay, what is the definition of cozy mystery? Interesting. Cozy mysteries rarely focus on sex, profanity, or violence. The murders take place off stage and are often relatively bloodless, while sexual activity, if any, between characters is only ever gently implied and never directly addressed. Cozy mystery usually takes place in a small town or village. The small size of the setting makes it believable that all the suspects know each other. The amateur sleuth is usually a very likable person who's able to get the community members to talk freely about each other. There is usually at least one knowledgeable, nosy, yet reliable character in the book who is able to fill in all the blanks. New releases tagged as cozy mystery. I guess I don't care if it's not a new release. Most read this week. Okay. We'll prescribe you a cat. I have that, but I didn't know it was that. I didn't know that was a mystery. This is not, it's not even tagged as a mystery. Fiction. I don't trust these lists in that case. What is wrong with my mouse? Oh my god, nothing's going right. 2024 cozy mystery. New releases. All right. I have seen this book. I feel like it was Kayla that read it, Books and Lala, and I think I also saw Gavin read it during Summerween. Every time I go on vacation, someone dies. 10 days, 8 suspects, 6 cities, 5 authors, 3 bodies, 1 trip to die for. All that best-selling author Eleanor Dash wants is to get through her book tour in Italy and kill off her main character, Connor Smith, in the next in her vacation mystery series. Is that too much to ask? Clearly, because when an attempt is made on real Connor's life, handsome but infuriating con man she got mixed up with 10 years ago and now can't get out of her life, Eleanor's enlisted to help to solve the case. Okay, let's keep that as an option. Okay, so some of these are like sequels, which I don't want. Oh my god, this author's name is Olivia Black. That is so close to Olivia Blake. Oh my god, I love the puns that they have in the titles. Vinyl Resting Place. Okay, this author has 2 cozy mysteries that have come out this year. One is a sequel to this series. This is the first book. And one is like a new one, I guess. 3 sisters who discover that opening a family business can be murder. Cozy crime mysteries. I have no idea when my camera stopped recording. I don't even know if it's been recording this whole time. But I'm absolutely just judging these completely by their covers. Sorry to say. But You'd Look Better as a Ghost is a fun cover. does say thriller in it though. I don't know that I trust these recommendation pages. Remarkably Bright Creatures. I don't think it's not a cozy mystery, is it? The Woman in the Library. Where have I heard this? The Nancys had such a fun cover. Okay, this is shelved as mystery. I was not expecting man based on the pink cover. That might be me judging the color pink by associating with women. I'm sorry about that. Didn't think R.W.R. McDonald was going to be Rob, but what was the other one? The Woman in the Library. This doesn't say cozy mystery, it just says mystery. I feel like this is an Australian author as well, is it not? Am I imagining things? If it's an Australian author, it's going to be way easier for me to find the book, is why I was asking that. It is, yes. She lives with her husband Michael and their boys on a small farm in Batlow. I know exactly where Batlow is, and it's in Australia. So an ornate reading room at the Boston Public Library is quiet until the tranquility is shattered by a woman's terrified scream. Security guards take charge immediately, instructing everyone inside to stay put until the threat is identified and contained. While they wait for the all clear, 4 strangers who'd happened to sit at the same table pass the time in conversation and friendships are struck. Each has his or her own reasons for being in the reading room that morning. It just happens that one is a murderer. Okay, let's keep that as an option too. I need to look up Remarkably Bright Creatures. I did not think that was a cozy mystery. It's not. I guess mystery is listed somewhere in there. I guess, okay. It's fiction though. An exploration of friendship, reckoning, and hope tracing a widow's unlikely connection with a giant Pacific octopus. I do love things that are linked with the sea. Okay, let's keep this as an option, even though it doesn't say mystery. I did actually take that out from the library earlier in the year and I didn't have time to read it. Murder at Malabar Hill. What is this? It looks like it's a BIPOC author, just judging by the character and the name. Oh, this was a Goodreads Choice Award in 2018. Love that. Never heard of it. Okay, let's see what it's about. Oh, this is a mystery set in 1920s Bombay. I don't think, have I read anything set in India yet this year? No. And this is a cozy mystery that's also historical, which I haven't tried that much. Introducing Miss Perveen Mystery, the star of an outstanding new crime series. This courageous, likable, and determined young lawyer turned sleuth will appeal to readers of, I don't know who that is, and I don't know who that is, in a stunning combination of crime and mystery set in 1920s Bombay. Armed with a legal education from Oxford, Perveen Mystery has joined her father's law firm, becoming one of the first female lawyers in India. Mystery Law has been appointed to execute the will of Mr. Omar Farid, a wealthy mill owner who has left 3 widows behind. But as Perveen examines the paperwork, she notices something strange. All 3 of the wives have signed over their full inheritance to charity. What future will they have? Perveen is suspicious, especially since one of the widows has signed her form with an X. Could she even read the document? This is different to the other ones I'm seeing. I'm going to keep that on the list because I like things that are different. What else is on this list? Another historical crime. Okay. Oh, here's an Australian one. A wickedly witty, cozy crime novel set in Sydney in the swinging 60s. Okay, another historical one. Okay, Sydney in 1965. After a chance encounter with a stranger, tea ladies Hazel, Betty, and Irene become accidental sleuths, stumbling into a world of ruthless crooks and racketeers in search of a young woman believed to be in danger. In the meantime, Hazel's job at Empire Fashion Wear is in jeopardy. The firm has turned out the same frocks and blouses for the past 20 years, and when the miniskirts burst onto the scene, it rocks the rag trade to its foundations. War breaks out between departments and it falls to Hazel, the quiet diplomat, to broker peace and save the firm. When there is a murder in the building, the tea ladies draw on their wider network and put themselves in danger as they piece together clues that connect the murder to a nearby arson and a kidnapping. But if there's one thing tea ladies can handle, it's hot water. Don't know if I don't love a kidnapping, I don't think, like if we're talking about an actual child. Let's keep it as an option. Okay, you'd look better as a ghost. This one says it's a comic thriller, which is still not tagged as cozy mystery, but anyway. A comic thriller following the trials and tribulations of Claire, a part-time serial killer who is keen to keep her favourite hobby a secret, despite the efforts of a determined blackmailer. The night after her father's funeral, Claire meets Lucas in a bar. Lucas doesn't know it, but it's not a chance meeting. One thoughtless mistyped email has put him in the crosshairs of an extremely put-out serial killer. But before they make eye contact, before Claire lets him buy her a drink, even before she takes him home and carves him up into little pieces, something about that night is very wrong because someone is watching Claire, someone who is about to discover her murderous little hobby. Okay, interesting. Okay, lastly, I am heading to the Feeling Donovan Goodreads page and I'm going to see what it says here. Readers also enjoyed, okay, well, Vera Wong's, obviously. These are romances, so that's not really what I want. Yeah, see, it's just giving me romances or thrillers. And I don't want that. I'm getting Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone again, which I could try that. Okay, my camera's turned off a couple of times now and I don't know where it stopped. I do have recommended here, everyone in my family has killed someone, which still doesn't say cozy mystery. What is a cozy mystery? Do I just want mysteries then in that case? This is a really interesting synopsis. I'm Ernest Cunningham. Call me Ern or Ernie. I wish I'd killed whoever decided our family reunion should be at a ski resort, but it's a little more complicated than that. Okay, we have a lot of options. I'm going to go and see what my library has and if I can find any more than what I just searched here, because clearly live reacting to the search is not working because my camera just does not want to play nice. So I'm going to see based on what I can actually access and what I am actually interested in reading from these, and I will be back when I have a cozy mystery to update you on. Or just a mystery, since some of these were just mysteries. Good morning. I'm still in my pajamas, but I wanted to give you an update. My Christmas pajamas, actually, that are very cute, if I do say so myself. And on the topic of pajamas, yes, I'm going to get off topic straight away, but this is me we're talking about. We need more like gender neutral, like parent-kid matching things, because obviously I am a mum and I have a son. So a lot of the like mummy and me stuff are for girls, or if there's like matching family sets, normally like the boys is the same as the dads and then the girl is the same as the mums, but we need to have like gender neutral ones because I mean, not that it matters to me because I bought a Christmas outfit for my son and then I bought a matching one for myself, and the women's one, it was like a dress, but I didn't want a dress. I wanted like the button up and shorts to match my son's button up and shorts, so I just bought from the men's section. And then these pajamas are women's and I bought my son like the girls ones to match because there were no boys ones to match. It's just a stupid tangent, but like, can we have just matching ones that actually match? Because yeah, often like the women's and the boys are like a different color, or it just doesn't come in a matching set. Anyway, on to the books, because I don't want to get carried away. But the first book that I read for this project, which I'm very glad that I started off with this one because it is the classic cozy mystery. But I did get a Libby loan for every time I go on vacation, someone dies. I don't have a copy because I read it on Libby. And yes, this is definitely the typical cozy mystery. I am looking at the rating on Goodreads and the average rating is quite low. It's 3.5. So I do think like this is definitely not going to be for everyone. And I'm just going to go ahead and say I did actually really enjoy it. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but yeah, I do think I'm a cozy mystery girl. I definitely did not like it as much as Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. But that's just because I just related to more elements of Vera Wong, plus Asian author. Like we were following this like elderly Asian character, so I feel like I related to that aspect, which this didn't have that, but it was still a fun time. So essentially it's a cozy mystery, and we are following this main character who is an author, and she kind of accidentally became an author on a vacation in the past. She got like caught up in her boyfriend's like crime thing, which he was like investigating some sort of crime. And then to like process her thoughts after their vacation, she ended up like writing it down, which turned into a book that just got published. And so the ex-boyfriend is like blackmailing her because she didn't change his name in the book. So he's like, hey, if I'm in your book, like I'm getting a cut of this money. So anyway, now we're at present day and she's published many books in that series. And she's on this vacation with the ex-boyfriend, with her sister, with a bunch of people, and obviously it's a cozy mystery. So there are some deaths, there's some threats. The ex-boyfriend is like, hey, someone's actually trying to kill me now. And then yeah, we are along with our main character trying to figure out what is happening, who is the killer. It was really interesting because it was like such a different writing style. So there were like footnotes, and the author was like breaking the fourth wall. Like she was writing obviously from the main character's perspective, and they were like talking directly to us, like to the reader. That would happen like in the footnotes, but also just like generally in the normal, like in the pages, which I thought was really interesting. I feel like some people might not like that. I'm not sure. I haven't read reviews. I don't know if that is what is turning people off it. But personally, I thought it was really fun. Can't even remember what I said in the intro, but like, yeah, I definitely don't think I'm like a scary thriller girly. I definitely have thrillers that I've enjoyed in the past, but I think going forward, I do think like cozy, fun mystery vibes is like where I am at. And this definitely fit in that because it was, yeah, silly, funny, goofy. The author was talking to the reader. Yeah, and it definitely fits that cozy mystery definition. So I'm glad I started off with it for this project, because I do think some of the other books that I'm reading are not cozy mysteries, or I don't know if they're even mysteries. We'll find out. But yeah, I'm unsure of my rating. I honestly feel like I might even give it a 5. I'm just struggling to have 5-star reads this year, and I had so much fun with it that I'm like, surely I give it a 5. But regardless of what my rating ends up being, it was a success. And at least if all the other books in this project go downhill, at least I have one that was successful. So I will update you when I have finished something else. Okay, I just did an entire update without my microphone plugged in, so I'm going to start over again because it would have sounded terrible with my onboard camera mic. But I'm super, super glad with the books that I have picked for this project, because I'm really getting a full range of things that have fallen somewhere into a mystery-esque type genre. But I finished Remarkably Bright Creatures, which in the article that I read, or website, whatever it was, I think it was Readings, right? It was the Cozy Crime or something it was called. This was on there, which it is Remarkably Bright Creatures. This is just the edition that the library had. I prefer the one with the octopus, so let it be known. But yeah, this was in that, but I would not categorize this as a mystery. I'm sorry if you can hear Kian. On Goodreads, I have it open. It is fiction, then it says audiobook, but then it says contemporary and then mystery. And I would not call this a mystery. In the Goodreads Choice Awards, it was under the fiction, like it got a nomination under the fiction category in 2022, as well as debut. So it definitely didn't go into the mystery one, and nor does it belong there. So that just one particular website just put it as cozy crime, but I don't know. Essentially, you have not heard of this book. The premise is we are following this elderly lady named Tova. Her husband has recently passed, and she is working the night shift at this aquarium, cleaning, and she is obviously cleaning the animals, like areas, and she develops, I guess, a relationship, you would say, with the octopus in the aquarium. And we do get chapters from the octopus, and I really wish we had more chapters from the octopus, because I really, really loved them, and I wish there were more. Because that would have been more my vibe in the book if that kind of got more wacky. There is a tag on here, magical realism. I would not personally say that. It is magical realism. I don't think it's magic. I think it's just an octopus that is a character. But I would have probably loved this book even more if it got really wacky and the octopus like had a bigger role to play in the story. He does have like a substantial role, I guess, but yeah, he could have easily been taken out and the story could have still held on its own without him, which I wish it had more of him. Anyway, that's just a side tangent for my personal taste in books. But so Tova, 30 years ago, her son, Eric, was 18 and he died. He was out on a boat at sea and they never recovered his body. He died at sea, essentially. And she never really got closure as to what kind of happened. People were telling her it was a suicide. She didn't believe that. And she, I guess, never really got the closure because she never found out for sure exactly what happened the night that he disappeared and what was going on. And I believe in the synopsis, it does say, well, in my copy at least, it does say that Marcellus, the octopus, is the one who finds out what happened that night. I guess that's kind of true, but essentially, the octopus helps the pieces be put together for what happened. But that's the basic synopsis. And like I said, I'm really glad that I included this in this project because I'm really getting such a range of books that have mystery elements. I would not classify this as a mystery because I feel like with mysteries, especially cozy mysteries, as I've come to find, it is normally an amateur sleuth that is trying to put together the mystery, and we as the readers are trying to also put it together alongside them, and then we get the reveal at the end when, it's revealed to us and to the main character as well. Whereas this is a bit different because we find out really early on what has happened. Well, not exactly what has happened, but I feel like it was fairly obvious to me, and I'm assuming other people, in the very beginning, what the connection was between some of the characters. And I feel like it was made pretty obvious to the reader very early on, but the characters do not find out until the end, which I was getting kind of nervous because I know this is like a literary fiction, and I was getting really scared that we were not going to have everything tied up neatly in a bow, and it was going to absolutely rip my heart to shreds. I did get a little emotional, but it didn't rip my heart to shreds as much as I thought it would, which is good because I was getting really worried there. But like I said, yeah, this is the opposite, where we as the reader know for pretty much the entirety of the book what some of the secrets are, but the characters do not know. And so it was really different to normal mysteries where we're trying to piece it together as well. But in this one, we don't need to piece it together because we already know the answers, because we've either figured it out on our own or the octopus has spelled it out for us. So yeah, this was an interesting one to include in this project because I guess, yeah, I'm getting a range of different types of mystery elements in books, and I do think I don't like as much when we know the answers and the characters don't, because it was kind of frustrating. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say this is maybe, I could be talked up or down, maybe just up. I did buddy read this, so maybe when I discuss it fully with my buddy read friend, I might have different opinions, but I think I'm gonna say like a 4.25 at the current moment. I would have preferred, this would have perhaps been a perfect book for me if it wasn't so frustrating where we already knew the answers and the characters didn't. I'm trying to think if I know of any other books that has happened that I've really enjoyed or that I've even disliked. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any. I might try and think of some for later. But yeah, I did find that frustrating. And the other thing that I would have preferred is, yeah, more octopus and more wacky with the octopus, which I don't know how they would have done that, but I don't know. Because yeah, there is a magical realism tag and it's not magical realism. So I would have liked it to lean more into that kind of vibe. And yeah, at least I know in future, like that's a preference for me with a mystery in a book. But to clarify, this is not a mystery book. This is a literary fiction book. So yeah, another book for this project done. I always put off filming these updates because I keep thinking I have to wait until I'm like presentable and camera ready. But I chase after a 4-year-old all day, so I'm never presentable and camera ready. So for this one, I'm coming to you in my bluey pajamas because I want to give you my update for the tea ladies before I leave it too long and I forget about it. I know I've been talking about like my favorite mystery books, and one of them was Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, and I said when I read that book that the main character really reminded me of my grandmother, like my Filipino grandmother, because like, I don't know, old Asian women are, not always, but they can be quite similar. This one is again following an older lady character, which I am finding that I really enjoy. But this one is set in Australia, and so if you didn't know, I'm Filipino and Australian, so I feel like this one kind of gave me that homey feeling because it reminded me of my Australian grandma. Even though this is like historical, and so my grandma was not a grandma when this was set, which is, when was this set? It doesn't say. Oh, swinging 60s. It was set in the 60s. Yeah, so I definitely feel like, I say this every time, I feel like a lot of the books that get talked about online so much are US or even UK authors, and I always make it a personal goal to try and read more Australian authors, which I have not completed this year. But every time I read an Australian author, I'm like, damn it, why don't I do this more? Because there is something like just like comforting and homey about reading an Australian author. I don't know if it's the writing style, if it's like the setting because it's set in Australia, but this is set in the 60s. I've never lived in Australia in the 60s. There is just something about it, and every time I'm like, this I probably would categorize as a cozy mystery. I don't know, I want to make a diagram. I might do that at the end, a diagram of how I categorize all these books. Because I don't think it would technically be a cozy mystery. It's definitely a mystery where we are trying to solve the mystery along with the main character, and I don't know if it would almost fall into that cozy mystery category because we do have an amateur sleuth, and I don't think it's as humorous as the first book I read, Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies. That one was definitely like silly, goofy, humorous, definitely cozy mystery. This one was less of that silliness. It was like a little bit funny, I guess. But yeah, I think maybe it doesn't fall into cozy mystery because of that. But basically we're following these tea ladies, which in the 60s, I guess, like in businesses, they would make tea for the people who were working in the company. That was their role. So they are tea ladies at this a fashion wear manufacturer. Fashion and textiles, yes. But basically, yes, the tea ladies stumble across some evidence. The main character, specifically named Hazel, stumbles across some evidence of kidnapping, arson, and a dead body. And the back says, it's time for Hazel and her friends to put down their teapots and take up the cause. Okay, so the back says a highly original and wonderfully entertaining cozy crime novel set in Sydney in the swinging 60s. So it is saying cozy crime, which is not cozy mystery, it's calling it cozy crime. Which, funnily enough, the website I got it off, Readings, the whole page was called cozy crime. It wasn't called Cozy Mystery. So does Cozy Mystery just not exist in Australia? I don't know. Anyway, I did really enjoy this. I really love an old lady character. And I love that even though it's set in the 60s, the women were girls. I don't want to give spoilers, but you know, sometimes I just hate men and I love girls. So I love, yeah, a group of women coming together to, you know, figure stuff out. I should have given this update as soon as I finished the book because I'm kind of already forgetting some of my comments. It did have like a few, like, I guess things that would be a bit like tropey. Yeah, and like there were some hints of like fun discussions. Obviously they are working in this fashion wear company in which women are like the employees and men think they know everything. And there was one comment made by someone when like women were suggesting, because obviously at the time longer dresses were more in and they were trying to push for some shorter dresses and the men were not having it. And then they were saying, you know, the dresses belonged in a brothel. And one man made a comment like, who knows what women want better than men? And it was just interesting because like the men were obviously viewing it from the point of like, women want to wear what's appealing to men, but the women were like, what if the women just want to wear what the women want to wear? I don't know. I feel like it's a fun time and I don't know what my rating would be. I did fly through it in like a day, so I don't know if I don't know, maybe somewhere in the 4-ish range, somewhere from like 3.75 to 4.25. It's definitely not a new favorite, but I definitely think that because I'm Australian, I probably enjoyed it more than if someone wasn't Australian. I don't know. At the moment, that's my review of The Tea Ladies and I'm really enjoying this project. I went to start editing this vlog and somehow I have either forgotten to take a clip or I took a clip and I accidentally deleted it for like a new favorite book, and that is The Bandit Queens. I don't remember how much I talked about this in that opening clip, but essentially in this one we are following these women in India. So our main character Geeta, she is believed by the people in her village that she killed her husband. He went missing and people assumed, and she just didn't correct them because it did work out well for her. And now some of the women in the village are coming to her saying, hey, can you help me with my awful husband? And they want her to help kill them because they think that she already killed her husband. The back says, a darkly irreverent and fresh take on a feminist revenge thriller, which acknowledges the unfortunate status quo for women everywhere and shows us that female connections and friendships are what carry us through the darkness and absurdity of life. Interesting that they use the word thriller. It's not a thriller. I would definitely say, again, this is just fiction, lit fic, which I guess does have like mystery elements. It's definitely not a cozy mystery at all. I was excited to read it because it did give me vibes of Finlay Donovan, like the synopsis, accidentally falling into this role of having to become like a hit woman almost. And this is not as silly, goofy fun as Finlay Donovan. I feel like it definitely has some like dark humor within it. So I guess like we could say it's humorous in that aspect, but I would not say this is a thriller nor a mystery. I would say this is like lit fic, which does have like a little mystery within it, but it's not like an exact thing that we're trying to solve. Like I feel like with mysteries, there's like something that we're actually trying to solve. Like it's either like a murder mystery and we're trying to find the killer, or like there's something like in that first book that I read for this video, there was something to be solved. Whereas this, there's not necessarily something to be solved, but I guess like there's kind of a mystery. I don't know, is there a mystery? I guess that's why I used the word thriller instead of mystery on the back, because we're not solving anything. It's just these women coming to our main character and now she's got to try and figure out how to kill these men and make it look like she knows what she's doing. And then obviously it's a snowball effect. Like once one woman asks her, then more women are like, okay, what about my husband? I feel like I'm making it sound cozier than it is. Like I definitely think it has more like the dark humor. But yeah, I just don't think it fits for thriller either. But yeah, definitely like feminist fiction. But I would recommend everyone to read this because I just never have seen anyone talk about this, or I thought I'd never seen anyone talk about this, but I actually think when I went on Goodreads, I do have mutuals that have read this, but I must have just missed it. But I would recommend this to everyone because I actually think that this is probably going to be my favorite book so far of this year, which I know it doesn't have that many contenders up against it, because the whole point of why I was doing this video is because I have had so few 5-star reads this year and so few new favorites. So I am glad that something came out of this video, but I definitely gave this 5 stars. And like I said, this is this is going to be in my favorites list of the year. I'm excited that this project actually ended up resulting in a 5-star. And I do honestly feel like this project has like helped me refine my reading taste down. But I do have one more book that I want to read for the vlog. So let me come back once I've read that vlog and give you my final thoughts. Okay, let's finally wrap up the vlog because I have finished the final book that I'm reading for this video, which is The Woman in the Library. Ignore how tired I look. It's been a rough month and I think I'm getting sick, so that's great. I just want to finish editing this video and be done with it. This book is by an Australian author, which love that. The author is from a small town in Australia where I literally just was visiting. I was there for my grandma's funeral, not in the exact town, but like kind of in the vicinity of it, which I was actually going to get my grandma a couple of books that I read in this vlog. I feel like she would have liked Remarkably Bright Creatures and The Tea Ladies, and then this one is from like a local author. And I think I literally said earlier in the vlog that one of the characters reminded me of my grandma because she is like an old Australian lady. So this vlog is just now for my grandma. Not the most positive way to end the vlog, considering halfway through I had to attend her funeral. But let me give you the synopsis of this one. Like I said, it's an Australian author and the main character is Australian. And I do always love Australian authored books. I don't know why I always just... No, I do know why. It's because US authors are talked about so much. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. The main character is a writer and she is in this library in like Boston, is it? I don't know. Boston Public Library. She's in the reading room with a couple of other people in this library, and then they hear this scream and they later find out that someone had actually died in the library. So these 4 main characters were together in the room when it happened, and they are kind of like brought together while I guess they kind of figure out what the heck happened. And there are also these, it's like a book within a book, because there's also these little chapters that are like email correspondence from this other random guy talking to someone named Hannah, who is the person writing the book. So it's like a book within a book. I don't know if I explained that very well. I really, really enjoyed that part because it was almost like I was buddy reading this with someone, and that was like the comments that they were sending through after each chapter. I guess like the person who are sending these emails, it was like, I don't know, it was kind of like meant to be the author's like beta reader sort of thing. So she would send him chapters and then he would be responding saying like, oh, you know, this character seeming really suspicious and blah, blah, blah. It was kind of like buddy reading with someone, because after every so often, there would just be like this comments of someone who was also just now reading the chapters and leaving their comments. I don't know if that made sense. I think I'm getting sick. My brain is like not performing at its best. Yeah, I feel like not everyone is going to like that, but personally, I thought that was really, really fun. And because, I don't know, I don't read a huge amount of mysteries, I don't know, it was just fun to have those little chapters in there, like helping me solve the mystery sort of thing. And also because this person was like the beta reader, and he is American and the author is Australian, and she's writing this book set in America. He would like make little comments like, oh, in America, we don't call it a boot, we call it the trunk. I don't know. So I just really appreciated like those little things being pointed out. There was a lot of Australian references to Tim Tams and the Tim Tam Slam. I don't know. I just really appreciated that. As an Australian who reads a lot of books set in the US, it was just really fun to read one where it was like, yeah, a book within a book, and the author was writing it, and then she was getting feedback from an American to an Australian. Like, I just thought that was fun personally for me. But again, that it doesn't apply to everyone, so I don't know why I'm even bothering. But yeah, I thought this was really fun. I don't know that I'm going to give it a full 5. I definitely did not enjoy it as much as The Bandit Queens. That is definitely my favorite book that I read for this vlog, but I don't know, it's close to a 5, and I'm going to sit on it and decide on my final rating. And then to wrap up the vlog, I want to give my final thoughts about like the mystery genre as a whole. I definitely think next year I should probably try and read more mysteries, considering for this vlog I ended up enjoying pretty much everything, which is absolutely insane to me, because if you remember at the start of the vlog, I literally said that I have had barely any 5-star reads. So I found a new favorite out of this. And then obviously The Woman in the Library was also a high rating for me. Every Time We Go on Vacation, Someone Dies was also close to a 5. And then The Tea Ladies and Remarkably Bright Creatures are both in between a 3 and a 4. I feel like I rated The Tea Ladies lower, but just because of everything going on in my life, I feel like I just automatically want to rate it higher. Simply because, I don't know, it's set in Australia. I said it reminded me of my grandma at the time, and then a week later I was attending my grandma's funeral. So I feel like my personal circumstances have affected my rating for that, and I want to bump it up. But regardless, everything that I read in this video I enjoyed and would recommend to people. I do think originally I was looking for cozy mysteries, but not all of the books that I read for this were mysteries. And the ones that were mysteries were not necessarily cozy mysteries. So I'm still not entirely sure about the genre of like cozy mysteries. I've looked up the definition, and it does say that it's normally light, comedic, and comforting, something that you would want to read at the beach or on a bad day. Yeah, I'm looking at this one website and it's saying like nothing too serious, but you still get like the plot twist that you would in like a more intense kind of like thriller or mystery. This one definition that I'm looking at is referencing like Scooby-Doo. It says solving murders Scooby-Doo style, which I think is a fun way to describe it, and I'm going to totally steal that. So I have created like a graphic of what I'm kind of considering it to be this blend of genres. So I've created like a Venn diagram, and this is, please tell me if you think I'm wrong, because I'm still trying to figure out what a cozy mystery is. But I feel like if we are blending like the mystery genre with like a rom-com movie, more com than rom, but just because I feel like the cozies that I've read are normally like funny, and there usually is some sort of romance in them. So I think a cozy mystery is like a mash between a rom-com and a mystery. So I've created a graphic that I'm going to use to categorize the books that I read in this video, where I also have included lit fic or just general fiction. So the first book that I read, Every Time We Go on Vacation Someone Dies, that one is straight smack bang in the cozy mystery section. That is definitely what I would consider to be a cozy mystery, but again, I haven't read that many, so please let me know what you think. Remarkably Bright Creatures is straight up in the lit fic section. It doesn't even, it shouldn't have been in this video, but it doesn't matter. And then The Tea Ladies, I don't know, I almost want to say it's a cozy mystery. I don't know, it's somewhere in the middle of cozy mystery and mystery. I don't think it's as like comforting and funny as Every Time We Go on Vacation Someone Dies, but I definitely think it's cozier than a lot of other like crime novels, like Australian crime novels. Like I've read a couple that they dealt with a lot more heavy things, and it was not as lighthearted as The Tea Ladies. I feel like The Tea Ladies is more lighthearted, but it's not as funny as the other cozy mysteries that I've read. And then The Bandit Queens is definitely just general fiction, but I think it's like a toe in like the mystery kind of side. Not that we're trying to solve something, but I think just the vibes of the fact that people are dying puts it kind of like a toe in the mystery section. And then lastly, The Woman in the Library is straight up mystery. I don't think it's a cozy mystery. I feel like it's cozier than some like more intense thriller mysteries. But yeah, I feel like it's more intense than a cozy mystery is. It's not something you want to relax to on the beach. I mean, some people do, but you know what I mean? Like when you think of just like something to sit back and relax, and I don't know. When I think of The Woman in the Library, I don't think of Scooby-Doo style. I think that's how I'm going to think about cozy mysteries. If I read a mystery, would it be a Scooby-Doo episode? And if not, then maybe it's not as cozy. I don't really know. That is my placing as to where I think these books land in the mystery kind of sphere. Just if you happen to be looking for something specific. But yeah, some of these were not mysteries. So, and I only technically read one cozy mystery. Considering this whole vlog was meant to be finding a cozy mystery, and I only really read one that was like a true cozy mystery, I guess I kind of failed in that aspect, but regardless, I read things that I enjoyed, so I think that's fine. I don't remember if there was anything else I was going to say. Oh yeah, I put a hold in at the library for this one book, and this would have been perfect for the vlog, but I'm not adding another book on. But I found this book, The Verifiers by Jane Peck, and then when I picked it up, I noticed on the spine, well, one, it says mystery, but there's like a little pride flag, which obviously means it's going to be queer. This is a mystery by an Asian author that I think is also sapphic. So this has the potential to become like a favorite cozy mystery for me. Yeah, so we're following a main character who has no interest in finding either a conventional career or a nice Chinese boy. She's also used to keeping things from her family, such as that she prefers girls, and that she's just been recruited by Veracity, an online dating detective agency in New York with its own secrets. When a client goes missing, she starts digging deeper than she's supposed to. Part literary mystery, part immigrant family story. The Verifiers is a witty and incisive examination of how technology shapes our choices and of the nature of romantic love in the digital age. This literally sounds perfect for me, and I can't believe that my holds came in like at the end of this vlog. Please let me know if you've read this and what you thought of it, because I feel like I haven't really seen that many people talking about it. I feel like when it first came out, I maybe saw it a bit, but I don't remember who. But like Asian author and sapphic, cozy mystery, like, sorry, I need to read that. So I don't know, maybe stay tuned if in future videos I mention it. I don't know if I can fit it in by the end of the year, but we'll see. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.